Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got a lot of people waiting, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I don't want to let you hang out there in cyberspace waiting on me. And I hope everybody's doing well. I'm Diego. You know who Diego is. I'm going through this K1 visa process just like you guys. And Karina, my beautiful prometida, is in Bogota, Colombia. She's Venezuelan. She's from Caracas, Venezuela, but she is a legal resident of Colombia, and I live in the Panhandle of Florida near Pensacola. Now, probably the best way to avoid getting an RFE, a request for further evidence, the best way to avoid an RFE is to triple, double, quadruple check your paperwork before you submit your K1 visa to the lockbox in Louisville, Texas, Dallas, Texas. Do not submit your K1 visa package unless you have at least triple checked it for typos, spelling mistakes, transposed numbers, or stuff like that. And Jacob Myers says, "Good evening, Diego. Good evening, Jacob." And Contain This says, "Medical tomorrow in Manila." Yaha. So that get that medical exam out of the way. That's going to be at the St. Luke's Hospital Extension. Get it over with. Isaac Medrano, hey Diego, 57 days away for the interview. Can't wait. The time is passing quickly, Isaac. Don't worry. It will go by quickly. And you're going to be all right. Whoop slap. Good evening, Diego. Judith is going through her interview. Right now, she's going through her interview. What's like 7 o'clock at night? Pete B. Thank you, Pete B, for the fantastic super chat. Shane is going through her interview right now. Oh, that's right, you guys. That's right. So you guys, that must be the Philippines. So they're all on a different time zone. All right, Pete B. That's right. They're in the morning, right? You've got this, okay, guys. Going through this interview process. Don't sweat it. You can do it. And so Judith, she'll be just fine, okay? And Pete B, Shane also. Now Pete B, it gets cold in Minnesota. All right, it's getting closer to the winter time. I mean, it gets so cold in Minnesota, the ice cream machine at McDonald's works. That's how cold it gets in Minnesota. Even the ice cream machine works at McDonald's in Minnesota. Tashalin's World. Good evening, Diego. Good evening, Tashalin. Jacob, good luck. Contain ours is next Tuesday. Jin Ganesh, hi Diego and Karina. Good night. Hope it was well. Everything's great. We're doing fantastic. Karina had went to hang out with her friends, her amigas yesterday. She was hanging out with what, two or three of her friends, and then I did a voice chat with all of them, and I promised all of her friends that I would take them all out to dinner at this fantastic restaurant in Bogota because they're going to miss Karina when Karina leaves Colombia. They're going to miss her. So I'm going to take them all out to eat chicken and French fries and Mountain Dew. Jeff Mantalk. Hello, Diego. What's going on, Jeff? And Tashlin's World is wishing Contain This much luck. Buena suerte. Pete B, again, thank you for the super chat, kicking off the show early with Mountain Dew money. Andrew Bryan, much respect, Diego, for what you are doing. No problem, Andrew. We are going to get you through this K1 visa process while I'm in the middle of my K1 visa process. I've been there, I've done it, I know what it's like, and it's not a fun process. It's not fun at all. It's not, but it should be. But you go on these Facebook chat groups and the Instagram chat groups, and all these people in Facebook are scaring the living daylights out of you, telling you how hard it is and all the mistakes that they've made and all the denials and the problems. Stay out of there, okay? Hang out with us, because right here, you're going to get your visa as long as you qualify. Now, remember, I'm not an immigration attorney. I got to say that. I don't give you any legal advice, okay? I don't work for USCIS or the National Visa Center. I work for you guys. I put the channel together for you to help you through the process. Whoops, it's 8 o'clock a.m. in the Philippines. That's correct. And Johnson M, happy Monday to everybody. Happy Monday. Whoop slap, good luck, Pete B. You in the Philippines. Yeah, Pete B and Whoop slap, you guys get your beneficiaries are good. You're going to get your visas, put them in the passport. And don't forget, guys, in the Philippines, you got to do that CFO debarkation checkout. Jacob, mountains looking to get snow this week in Colorado. That's why I live in Florida, Jacob, because I don't like snow. If I want to see snow, I'll Google it. Oh, look at the snow. Oh man, that person got stuck in the traffic. His car broke down because it's cold. Nuh-uh, I'm not going near snow. Andrew Bryan is talking to Tashlin. Tess and Rocco. Good morning here, Diego from the Philippines. Hey, Tess and Rocco. I'm going to get the medical this October 5 to October 5th at St. Luke's. Yeah, St. Luke's Extension. Johnson M. Diego, your recent video on interview questions from Brazil was helpful. Thank you. No problem. No problem. That's the purpose of the channel. Help you guys. Full circle. Ruse full circle. Wishing all October luck and blessings. That's a good. Love from Nairobi, Kenya. So we got Ruse full circle watching us from Nairobi in Kenya. And then Pete B, hopefully I'll know the results during the live stream. Yeah, you will. No problem. We'll be here for you, Pete B. We're here for you. Janiela James. Hi, Diego. What's going on, Janiela? And everybody's saying hi. And Estefania Flores. Hi, Diego. Thanks for your videos. Do you have your interview? Not yet, Estefania. I went into the SEAC website, punched in the case number, and it said in transit. So apparently it's still in an airplane flying to Bogota. So that must be a long flight. Now, it takes me 6 hours to fly to Colombia. It's taken my K1 visa so far 48 hours. So maybe they put it in a rowboat and they're rowing down the south, they're in the Atlantic Ocean and they're rowing down to Colombia. Juarez. Hello, Diego and Karina. Still waiting here. No problem. So are we. Janiela, I'm good. Andrew, hope all is well. Furious Ram. Hi, Diego. Got my ready status, but I still have to wait for the Casablanca embassy to give me the interview date. Okay, you'll get one. They're getting there. They're getting done with the interviews. Dave Deloria. Hi, Diego. Any word on the embassy in Costa Rica? Now, Costa Rica. Now, I stay away from Costa Rica. Okay. Ever since I watched Jurassic Park, I don't know if there's still dinosaurs in Costa Rica. And maybe the embassy's been overrun by pterodactyls. I don't know. But they are processing K1 visas. So they must have good security at the embassy in Costa Rica. Okay? Lisa Washington. Hello, Diego. Andrew Bryan's talking to Janiela. Lisa Washington received a message from the NVC. The petition is currently undergoing administrative processing. That's normal. Don't worry about it. It's normal. Kenza Zane. Diego, I tried to create an account with SEAC to pay the DS-160, but I keep getting kicked out from the site. Well, they don't like you. Also, I went to check for available appointments, but none is available until 2025. What country are we talking about? 2025? Come on now. What country is this? I'll help you. Jeff Mantok. Diego, I'm going to see my lady this next week, and we'll be watching the live stream together. Well, great. And when I get to Colombia, I'll do the live stream from Bogota. I got good internet. I talked to Karina. I said, hey, how's the internet in our apartment? She said it's good. So the internet company is not failing us, okay? So we'll be able to do the live stream from Colombia, way up in the Andes Mountains. Jacob, that's super weird. I sent a super chat, got the receipt and pending in my bank, but not in the chat. Well, I don't see it either, Jacob. I don't see your super chat. So I don't know. I'll look in the account and see what happens, see if it's there. But thanks if you sent it. Thanks, man. I know you sent it. I just got to look in the account and see what happened. Yeah, it's super weird. You sent a super chat, got the receipt pending in my bank, but not in the chat. I'll check the account at the end of the live stream. Estefania Flores, Diego, I booked my appointment with the case in transit. You could fill in the DS-160 and try to schedule on the embassy page. Yeah, I emailed the U.S. Embassy. Okay, I sent them an email direct to the immigration officer, and I said, here's the case number, here's the invoice number, here's the passport number, date of birth, all that information. And they said they can't help me because our K1 visa is still in transit. They wouldn't help me at the embassy. I already tried. But I'll go to the embassy page and see if I can go that route. They may have it already. That's a good idea. I'll try that. I'll try it tonight. Good idea. Lee Kokula, hey Diego, thanks for all this good info. No problem. You've been giving us through our K1 visa journey. Okay, Lee, I'm going to give you all this knowledge up here, and I'm going to do like the Vulcan mind meld. Like in Star Trek, the Vulcan mind meld, and you're going to get all the information for free from my head. Okay? So you can get your K1 visa with the least amount of stress as possible. Savvy me, Diego, I misplaced my NOA1. Don't worry about it. But I requested a new NOA1 if it is. Don't worry about your NOA1 letter, as long as you know what your receipt number is. But do not lose your NOA2 letter. When you get your NOA2 letter, you put it in your safe, you put armed guards around it, and you turn on your ADT security alarm, and you protect it. Okay? NOA2 is very, very important. NOA1 is just a notification saying, hey, we got your stuff, and here's your receipt number. Don't worry about your NOA1. But, I'm not saying you should lose it on purpose, but the NOA2 is critical. NOA1, don't worry about it. Andrew Bryan, Janiela James, because I came to my birth parish to stay for a month with my family, I will leave the next 3 weeks from now. Okay? M.I. Iran. My friend from Iran, the lovely young lady from Iran, who had a heck of a time going through this K1 visa process, and then she found the channel, your channel, and here's a message from her. M.I. Iran. I'm in Texas right now. High five. M.I. Iran, welcome to the United States of America. Welcome to the second largest state in our union. Alaska is the largest state. Texas is the second largest state. Okay, so it'll take you 3 days to drive across Texas. But we're glad you're here. Now you can get rid of that veil now. You don't have to wear it if you don't want to. If you want to wear it, you can, but you don't have to. You are now in the land of the free. Randy Anasco, NOA1, 19 April 2022. NOA2, 25th of May 2023. Interview today passed in the Philippines. No welcome letter or invoice number. Don't worry about the invoice number. Don't worry about the welcome letter. Focus on the K1 visa. And apparently it's in your passport, right? That's all that matters. That's the golden key to the United States at the Border Patrol entry, the K1. But don't lose that NOA2 letter. You need that for the adjustment of status. Jacob, yeah, I never had that happen before, but I sent you some Mountain Dew money. Well, Jacob, I appreciate the Mountain Dew money, but I don't see it. But I'll check the account at the end of the live stream. Let's see. Whoopslap, that's what the MVC told me. Well, the MVC told me that the embassy in Colombia was closed because of COVID, and that was a big, tall story. Savvy me, my case has been in transit for 6 days. Now the embassy, okay, so your case has been in transit for 6 days going to Bogota. Should I send them email asking what's taking so long? No, 6 days isn't so bad. So in other words, what's really happening is your case is sitting with my case at the MVC waiting to get a few more Colombian visas together to mail them. Don't bother them. Give them at least 10 days, okay? Jose Ramirez. Diego, go in and try to schedule your appointment. As I noticed from the live chats that your case and Estafias were in the same time frame, similar time frame. Good luck, Diego, and I will be praying that you can schedule. Yeah, Jose, I'm going to try tonight. I don't like that word try. I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make an attempt. And I'll use the embassy website. I'll go into the U.S. Embassy website in Bogota instead of reading that NBC propaganda saying it's in transit. And Jose says, thank you for all your help in the process. No problem. I'm glad to be here. Abdel Keita, hi Diego, the embassy tells me no appointments available and I have already paid my visa fee. Don't worry. If you paid your visa fee, you're good, okay? But you got to keep going back in, go in, look, and keep looking until you get a day freed up. And then schedule the interview. Andrew Bryan to Teshlin, I carried my birth certificate and my immunization card. There you go. Rules for full circle. Does the beneficiary take the original NOA2 to the interview? No, copy. Take photocopy. Don't need the original NOA2 letter, just a copy. So when you get your NOA2 letter, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make 20 copies. One for the green card application, one for the embassy interview, one for your second cousin, one for your neighbor's dog, one for the cat down the street. But make 20 copies. So you don't lose. If you lose one, you got a backup. Let's see. Abdeli Keita. Hi Diego. The embassy tells me no appointments. Don't just keep looking, okay? You'll be all right. Andrew Bryan, Tashlin. I carried my birth certificate. Rules for circle. I answered your question. Kim Zane. Why does my K1 visa say immigrant visa? It's a non-immigrant visa. That's treated as an immigrant visa. Is it an immigrant visa or a non-immigrant visa? Kinza Zane, it's a non-immigrant visa, technically, but if you go into non-immigrant visa on the website at the embassy, you won't find it. You have to go into immigrant visa. So when you fill out the form, the DS-160, to get to that form, you got to hit immigrant, not non-immigrant. I know it's confusing, but trust me, it's a non-immigrant visa technically, but it's actually treated as an immigrant visa. It's like you have to fill out the DS-160, which is the same form you fill out for a tourist visa, which is a non-immigrant visa. So they classified it as a non-immigrant visa, but you're going to use it one time to come to the United States so you can get married, and then you adjust for a green card, which then makes it an immigrant visa. So it's kind of like a combination of the two. It's a hybrid. Okay. Jose Ramirez, thank you for your help. No worries. Don't want to miss anybody's questions here. History Blitz, do you cook? Yeah, I cook. I cook chili. I cook, let's see, Thai curry. I can cook a pretty good chicken red curry, hot. I get the ingredients from the Asian store in town. I can cook anything. I can cook an English roast dinner. I do a lot of cooking. You got to. There's nobody going to do it for me. I mean, I don't have a maid, okay? Lisa Washington, how long is the administrative processing at MVC? About 3 months. KJB, and what they do, Lisa Washington, at the MVC is they do the security check. They do the police check on the sponsor, the beneficiary. That's when they do the FBI check on everybody. And then they assign the case number. Then they call the embassy to find out how busy they are. Let's see here. KJBB. Hi Diego, will the start of fiscal year, will that impact processing time? NOA 1 is February. Yeah, it's going to speed it up. February 2023. Jacob, there's your super chat. It appeared out of nowhere. And it's Mountain Dew money. Good job. I think you figured it out. There it is. High five to Jacob. Thank you for that super chat. KJB, the thing, it's going to process, the processing time is going to speed up probably already. October 1st was when they started their new calendar year. Andrew Bryan is talking to Tessalin. Sharon Persekian, Hey, Diego, Boundless says I'm approved, but it still says case received. Well, stay out of Boundless. Don't go in there. Hi, Diego. How you doing? Nehemiah Rachel. Doing great. Thank you. How are you? Did Yvonne, anybody here from the Dominican Republic trying to schedule an interview? And then Ingrid says she is. Jose Ramirez is talking to us. Okay, Estefania gave you a good idea. File and send the DS-160 and then try to schedule your appointment. Good luck, Diego, to you and Karina. God bless you. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to go into the U.S. Embassy website in Bogota and see what I can finagle. Lee Kirkula, hi Diego, can you change your K2 child last name to the petitioner, but last once you file your adjustment of status? Okay, can you change your child's last name? No, you cannot. The only way you can change the child's last name to the petitioner is if the petitioner adopts the child legally. It's got to be a legal adoption. S. Suarez, Diego, if the embassy already has my info travel, does the copy of the package that I'm going to bring to the interview also have, hold on a second, let me read that. Let me see. If I have if the embassy already has my info into EN by CT, what is that, EN? Does the copy of the package that I'm going to bring to the interview also have to be translated for CT? I mean, should I pay for that again? No, if you already translated documents once, don't repeat it. You don't have to repeat a translation on a document. Don't do that. Jacob Myers, there it is. Jacob, there's your super chat. It was in a secret place for about 2 minutes, and then it popped up. And I appreciate you, man. You had to restart YouTube. So there was a technical problem. You rebooted your YouTube account and boom, there's the super chat. BYE, hi Diego, how are you and Karina? We're doing fantastic. We are waiting for our lawyers to send our DS-160 to Guatemala. Our lawyers are very slow. Why are you, number one, why did you hire an attorney to do this? Now you got to wait on your attorney. You've put an extra layer of bureaucracy in your K1 visa. Now you got to wait for somebody else to do something you could already have done. Why don't you do it? Why don't you file the DS-160 to the Guatemalan embassy? Why don't you pay the visa fee? And tell your lawyer, thank you very much, have a nice day. If your lawyer is not doing his job or her job, you fire them and you take control of your visa, please. Okay? It's not hard. You can do it. Now, I'm not an attorney, all right? And that immigration attorneys do a good job. But if you know how to do this, you don't need one. And I know you know how to do this. Sarah Sahagun. Hello, quick question. How soon after receiving my NOA2 shouldn't I send an inquiry to the MVC about my case number? Wait 90 days. Don't blow up the MVC. The MVC have got enough stuff to do. They're busy. They're trying to call embassies, assign case numbers, do police checks. They're busy people. And thousands of K1 visas keep showing up on their doorstep. So give them 90 days before you send an inquiry. And then what the inquiry will do will automatically extend your NOA2 letter. If you read the back of your NOA2 letter, it says it expires in 4 months from this day to this day. Like my NOA2 letter expired September, 25th, something like that. But I sent an inquiry, in the beginning of September, after 90 days, actually after 100 days. And that extended my NOA2 letter. So wait 90 days, okay? Be patient. All right, you got that, Sarah? Whoop slap. We got approved. Boom. Good job. And good job, whoop slap. Jacob Myers will meet up soon. Jacob, so you're going to meet up with somebody. Where? Where are you going to meet him? Sharon Persikian, can I contact the MVC for a case number or wait? How long has it been since your NOA2 letter? Sharon, I can't remember. How long has it been since you got your NOA2 letter? If it's been 90 days or more, you need to go ahead and send an inquiry and ask for your case number. Janiela. Okay, Andrew. Okay. Lisa Washington, I already have my case number and invoice number. Sent multiple you sent multiple injuries. What did you do? Beat up the immigration officer? You sent multiple inquiries. You sent multiple inquiries to MVC. My fiance is in Monrovia, Liberia. Yeah, Monrovia. Now, you're going to get an email from the MVC that says Monrovia is closed because of COVID. That's not true. The embassy in Monrovia is not closed. They're open. They're processing visas, but they're very busy right now. So you just got to be patient for this next step, okay? Jin Ganesh, hi Diego, for the letter of intent to get married, is it one letter for the two of us or we both need one? Okay, let me go over it with you, Jin Ganesh. Jin Ganesh, you need to write a letter of intent to get married for you, to immigration, to the embassy. Dear U.S. Embassy, Bogota, Colombia. Dear U.S. Embassy, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. My name is, I am a U.S. citizen. I am legally free and able to marry my beautiful beneficiary within 90 days of her arriving in the USA. That must be in your letter of intent to get married. Okay, Jin Ganesh. So you're going to write your letter of intent to get married, and you can read and write English. So you write it in English. And then you tell immigration you're still madly in love with your beneficiary, and you guys are going to get married. And you got all these plans for this fantastic honeymoon. You're going to go to Las Vegas. You're going to stay in the Trump Tower. Whatever you're going to do. Put it in your letter of intent to get married. Sign it and date it. Then your beneficiary, Jin Ganesh, will write her letter of intent to get married. Okay, or if it's, whoever it is, him or her, this applies to everybody. You're going to write the letter of intent to get married. Now, Karina wrote her second letter of intent to get married. She already wrote it because we're getting close to an embassy interview. And she wrote it in Spanish. When I get to Colombia, she will sign it, date it, we'll notarize it. You don't have to notarize it, but we're going to do it. And then I will translate it into English with the Spanish group. So we'll have two letters of intent to get married. One written by me to the U.S. Embassy in Bogota. One written by Karina to the U.S. Embassy in Bogota in Spanish. Mine's going to be in English. Hers will be in Spanish. I sign mine. She signs hers. I get it translated. We put the letters together in a sandwich in a folder, and we bring them to the visa interview. And then we give them to the immigration officer. Here you go. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Buen Natale. Lisa says, I already have my case number and invoice number, sent multiple inquiries. Yeah, Monrovia is busy, Lisa. They are busy. Niwas Rachel, doing great. Do you know how long does it take for a case to be ready once in transit? Oh, it depends on how busy the embassy is. Average is 2 weeks to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks is the average. Andrew says, no problem to Tashlin. Let me page down. And Diddy Von Diego, do you know how much is the medical exam in the Dominican Republic? I have no idea. You got to get your beneficiary to call the doctor. Remember, when you have a medical exam for your visa interview at the embassy, you got to have it by a qualified, certified, authorized doctor that the State Department says has got permission to do the medical exam. So Karina is going to have her medical exam in Bogota, Colombia. She knows who the doctor is. She knows what his phone number is. She knows where his office is. She knows his email address. And she got on the bus a couple of weeks ago, jumped on the bus, went downtown Bogota, found his office, found where he works, and says, okay, this is where I'll come for my medical exam. She did all her homework already. She knows where to go for it. And she knows how much it's going to be. It's about $400. And, So we did all the homework already. You got to do it. You got to be active, proactive. Whoopslat says they only want DS-160 and said she was approved. I packed the petition with everything for the interview too. There you go. Got to cover your base. Kinza Zane, my fiance doesn't have the shot record for him. What should we do? Well, you can do one of two things. You can find the shot record. Number two, get a titler test to find out what vaccinations he already had. Okay, or you can get all the vaccinations over again. There's about, I don't know, about 10 of them you got to get, something like that. Or wait until you get to the United States and get the vaccinations in the United States. But do not apply for the green card without the vaccinations. If you don't get your vaccinations, if you don't prove you had the vaccinations, when you apply for the green card, you're going to get a 221G administrative hold until you produce the vaccinations. And they'll give you so much time to get the vaccinations. And if you don't produce them, your green card's denied and you get deported. So be proactive. I talked to Karina in Colombia 6 months ago. I said, hey, Karina, let me see your vaccination records. Well, they're in Venezuela. Okay, they're in Venezuela. Get your mom to get them and send a picture in her cell phone if she has electricity, if her cell phone internet works, and send it to you. Well, we don't have electricity. Her internet connection doesn't work. She can't find the vaccination records. I said, okay. How much do the vaccinations cost? She told me how much that each one is. I said, okay, here's $400. Go get your vaccinations. So she got it over a period of end of July, in August. Every week she got her vaccinations, repeated. Her arms were sore for 2 weeks. But we got all the vaccinations done. And she has a brand new vaccination card from Bogota, Colombia. Forget Venezuela. It was a logistical nightmare. No internet connection, no electricity. Her mom couldn't get to this place. Couldn't get to the doctors to see if they could get her old records from when she was a kid, because the computers were down. Okay, we just started from scratch and we redid all of her vaccinations. So she's good. She's done. All she has to do is show her vaccination card. Let me see. So Kinza's saying, what should he do? What should you do? What should you both do? Get the vaccinations. If you can't find the shot record, you're going to have to get all the vaccinations. It may be cheaper to get it done in your home country. It cost me like $20, $25 a vaccination, somewhere in there in Bogota, Colombia for Karina. In the United States, it will cost me $50, $60, $100, depending on what this vaccination was for. So I saved probably $600 getting all of her vaccinations done in Colombia. Now I got to get dental work done. I got to issue with my tooth, and my dentist said he gave me a bill, not a bill. He sent me a proposal of $6,000 to fix my tooth issue. And my dentist in Colombia said he'll do it for like, I think $600, something like that. So when I get to Colombia, I'm going to get all my dental work done. I'm going to save probably $5,000. Divon, Diego, do you know how much is the medical exam in Dominican Republic? I have no idea. I don't know. You got to call and find out. Let's see. Andrew is talking to Janiela. Ingrid's talking to Didivon. Mr. Entertainment or Miss Entertainment. Hi, is that okay if my fiance doesn't work and does not have a high school diploma? Okay, now, is your fiance the sponsor or the beneficiary? Is it Mr. Entertainment? Is your fiance the sponsor or the beneficiary? If you are talking about the sponsor, he's got to have a job. If he doesn't have a high school diploma, that's not important. What's important is that he works. If he's the sponsor, if your fiance is the beneficiary, It doesn't matter if he works or not. It's irrelevant, or she. It doesn't matter. Immigration do not care if your beneficiary in Colombia, Nigeria, Philippines, wherever it is, if you're working or not, they don't care. What they care about is, do you, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, do you make enough money to support your beneficiary once he or she gets to the United States of America? That's all they care about. So when you fill out the I-134, the Declaration of Financial Support, and you give it to the embassy officer, if you don't make enough money, don't worry, it's okay. You got to get a joint sponsor. So if you are a sponsor and your income isn't sufficient for immigration purposes, get a joint sponsor. Just get a joint sponsor. And when you apply for the green card, if your income isn't sufficient, get a joint sponsor. File 2 I-134s, file 2 I-864s. If you don't make enough money, get a joint sponsor. You fill out the I-864 affidavit of support for the green card, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor. Your joint sponsor will fill out I-864 as a joint sponsor, and you're both going to kick in your W-2s, 1099s, 1040s, tax transcripts, pay stubs, all that jazz. Bank statements, letter from the bank, or if you want to do that, letter from your employer. You put it all together in your adjustment of status paperwork, so you get the green card. It's not going to be a major catastrophe if you don't make enough money. You just got to get a joint sponsor. But the Philippines will not accept a joint sponsor. So if you're going through a K-1 visa process and you don't make enough money, okay, you can't use a joint sponsor for the Philippines. So the best course of action will be to get married to your sponsor, beneficiary, get married, and then file the spousal visa. Then you don't need a joint sponsor. It cuts that out of the equation. But that's the only time I would recommend a spousal visa, is if you don't make enough money and you need a joint sponsor. Get married, file for the CR1 visa, and then include your joint sponsor, and you're good to go. Because then everything's done at the National Visa Center, not at the embassy. Everything's done at the NVC in a spousal visa. Jose Ramirez is talking to Ingrid. Janiela, hurry up and come. It's getting cold. Jose Ramirez paid $265 visa fee. Okay, so that's how much the visa fee is, $265. That seems to be how much it is globally. Ernest Dosti, Diego, my fiance was denied F1 because she stated that she has a fiance visa, in her DS-160. I want to know if that will cause a problem because her K-1 status says ready at the Ghana embassy. No, it's not going to be a problem. She was denied the F1 visa, and probably you'll get the B2 visa denied, and that because you're in the middle of a K-1 visa. And immigration is saying to themselves, why would you want to come to the United States on vacation or as a student, which is what an F1 visa is, if you're in the middle of a K-1 visa? They're not going to let you do it. Some embassies do, some embassies don't. In your case, the Ghana, the ambassador said no. So she goes in front of the immigration officer, gets her visa interview done, turns in her passport, and gets her K-1 visa. And you're good to go. Let's see, Janiela James Diego. I know someone who filed the AOS and didn't submit any vaccination report and didn't submit any I-693. Well, then that person's going to get an RFE because they will not get their green card without the I-693 or the vaccination report. They're not going to get their green card. They're going to get a RFE. Where's your vaccination record? Where's your medical exam? They're going to ask for it. So it's going to slow down their process by 3, 4, 5 months. When you submit your adjustment of status paperwork whether if you live in Nevada, it goes to Arizona. If you live here in Florida, it goes to Chicago. When you submit your adjustment of status paperwork, you will include Form I-865, I-864, I-693, and your vaccination document, which is Department of State Form 3025. Plus, you're going to include all of your marriage certificate, your I-94, your adjustment, your NOA2 letter, your marriage pictures, your wedding pictures, your honeymoon pictures, your bills. Your fiance, now your husband or wife, is going to be on all your bills, on your gas bill, water bill, electric bill, trash bill. Get her a library card, get her a CVS card, put her name on everything. All right? And include all that in the adjustment of status paperwork. Then you get your green card. But if you don't include your medical exam and your vaccination documents, guess what? You're going to get an RFE. Janifa Makwan, MVC, said they forwarded my case to the Mumbai embassy. MVC gave me a case number, no invoice number. My case says ready. We filed the DS-160, paid the fees when going in the U.S. visa scheduling site. Good job. Kinza Zain, our case is in Turkey, no appointments until 2025. Well, here's what you're going to do in regards to Ankara, Turkey. You're going to go online every day and you're going to look for an open appointment. And you will find one eventually. And it's not going to take until 2025. Okay? Don't believe that. Let me see. Rules full circle. Can one use just any bilingual person to translate, or are there accredited translators, especially official documents like the police certificate? We used a company called the Spanish Group in California. I contacted Karina. I called her up and said, hey, I need new police certificates for Venezuela and Colombia. And then I said, don't worry about Venezuela. We're good. I already got Venezuela. So she got new police certificate for Colombia. She got it. She printed it from her laptop to her email. She emailed it to herself. She emailed it to me. And then I downloaded it and sent it to the Spanish Group. And then within 2 days, I had her police certificate for Colombia translated into English with a certification letter. And then I printed those off my computer from my Gmail. And now they're in her visa package for the embassy. Took 2 days. Get it, do it. Get all your translations by certified translators. Don't do it yourself. Immigration officers may or may not accept it if you do it yourself. They may or may not. You don't want to be in that fishbowl of may or may not. You want to be in the group of people where it gets done and it gets approved. So get it done by a company. The Spanish Group, they don't pay me to say that, but they're a good company. They're in California. Janifa Makwan, we can't get a slot or no one from the embassy is responding to the emails. They're busy. They're busy. You got to keep going back in and looking and checking. Lisa Washington, who puts the case on administrative processing, MVC or the embassy? The MVC don't have that authority. The MVC has one job. Review the K-1 visa, do the police check, and or either send it back to USCIS or send it to the embassy. The ultimate goal is for the MVC to send it to the embassy, right? So the embassy gets it, and then you go to the visa interview, and then there's a problem. You forgot your tax returns. You didn't bring something. There's a piece of paper missing they need. You go into a 221G, administrative processing. So when you get that email, packet 4 from the U.S. Embassy, there's a list of stuff you got to bring to the embassy interview. If you don't bring that list of stuff, you're going to go into administrative hold. Let's suppose, for example, you got divorced. You got a divorce decree, Mr. Sponsor, and you don't give the final divorce decree, certified and stamped and signed by the clerk of the court, the original certified copy, to your beneficiary. And on your I-129F, you said you had a divorce and you were divorced on this day in 1995 or whatever it was. You got to get that final divorce decree into the hands of your beneficiary to present to the immigration officer at the embassy visa interview. Because if you don't, they're going to ask for it. There was a couple in Brazil. Okay, he didn't give his beneficiary his divorce decree. She didn't bring it to the visa interview in Rio de Janeiro. She had to wait like 3 weeks before she could get it. So they put her on an administrative hold. Don't forget the documents. Okay? You get a list, they'll tell you what you got to bring. Jennifer, keep trying. You'll get a slot. Okay? Ingrid is talking to Diddy Von. Andrew Bryan is talking to Janiela. And Jose Ramirez is talking to Diddy Von. Kinze Zan, is COVID vaccination required? COVID vaccination is not required to leave your country and enter the United States. Back in, I believe it was June of last year, President Biden did away with that. Okay, from political pressure, the American people got sick of it. But you do need a COVID vaccination to get a green card. President Biden says you got to have a COVID vaccination to get a green card. So he told the State Department to make sure that you know that the rule is you got to have a COVID vaccination to get a green card. So you can come to the United States without a vaccination for COVID, but you cannot get your green card without the COVID vaccination. Okay? So the question is COVID vaccination required? Not to enter the USA, but it is required to adjust the status to green card. Niwa Rochelle, what all documents do we need to collect for the interview? I made a video about all that. I made a video on how to assemble all the documents for your K1 visa interview. I think I know what we need, but still, if you can please guide me so I don't miss out on anything. Okay, well, let's do it real quick. You need an original birth certificate. You need a copy of the birth certificate, plus any children. If your birth certificate is in a foreign language, it needs to be translated into English. You got to bring your passport. That hasn't expired. It's got at least 6 months on it, 8 months for Brazil. You got to bring the welcome letter if you get one. If you don't get one, don't worry about it. You got to bring the NOA2 letter if you get one, which you better have, right? Bring a copy of the NOA2 letter. You got to get passport photos for the visa interview, plus the medical exam. The police certificates translated into English. 2 letters of intent to get married, one from each person, the beneficiary and the sponsor. Bring all your pictures from your relationship. And you've been together 3 years, you should have a nice big photo album of pictures. Bring that to the visa interview. Will they look at it? Maybe, maybe not, but bring them. Okay? You got to bring the DS-160 confirmation page. You got to bring the MOV receipt, which is the receipt which says you paid for the interview. Now, remember, the DS-160 is a free form. The I-134 is a free form. You don't pay for those forms. They're free. But you do have to pay for the visa interview to process the K1 visa, $265. You got to pay for it. Bring the receipt to the visa interview. Bring your medical exam in the sealed envelope. Bring your vaccination card. That's the basics. Let's see. S. Suarez, Diego, sorry for abbreviating the word. Space is not enough. Thanks so much for your help. No problem. Dear Yvonne and Janiela and Jose Ramirez, everybody's chatting. Janiela James, Diego, my fiance has his DS-325 vaccination report paper. Should I submit that alone in the adjustment of status instead of filling out the I-693 and doing over the shots? You can include that. Immigration just want to see that you had the vaccinations done. But you do have to do a medical exam, I-693. You got to put that in there too, in a sealed envelope. If the Border Patrol officer takes your medical exam from you in the sealed envelope, they take it. When you get to the United States, I recommend you redoing the medical exam with a doctor, civil surgeon authorized by the State Department, or else you're going to get an RFE on your green card application. And you don't want to get that. Let's see here. Martial Katana. Hey, Diego, what to do if you have a baby overseas? What to do? You feed the baby. Please, I need your help. And just want to know if the baby will pay for the visa. Okay. If you had a baby overseas, was it with your sponsor, your American citizen sponsor? If you had a baby overseas with your American citizen sponsor, you get the baby registered at the U.S. Embassy as a U.S. citizen. The baby becomes registered at the embassy as a U.S. citizen. Then, when you come to the United States on your K-1 visa, the baby travels on a U.S. passport. So you don't need a visa for the baby. But that only applies if your baby is born to you from your U.S. citizen sponsor. Okay? You got that? Baby's born overseas, congratulations. Sponsor's an American citizen. You get the baby registered at the embassy. Dad's name is on the birth certificate as the dad. You may have to do a DNA test. It depends on the country. And then you get the baby a U.S. passport, and you all travel together as a family. You got that, Katana? You got it? You understand? Let's see, Mr. Entertainment. I am the okay, Miss Entertainment. I am his sponsor. Okay, so you are sponsoring him from the United States of America. Then that means that you are responsible for the K-1 visa and getting all the paperwork together and helping him. Okay. Crown Queen. If I'm the petitioner, do I send in my proof of income with the application? With the K-1 visa, you don't have to. When you go to the embassy, that's when you have to prove income. Remember, if you're going through a marriage visa, you got to prove all this stuff at the MVC level. If you're going through the K-1 visa, you got to prove income at the embassy level for the face-to-face. Okay? Would I include the I-134 and my income, proof of my income when you file the K-1 visa? I did. I included it. It helped get the visa approved quicker, in my opinion. But it's not required. If you have to prove income, it's proved. You have to prove the income at the embassy, at the U.S. Embassy. Let me see. Let me see here. S. Suarez, what are you going to try to do tonight at the embassy page? Tell me to do the same. I got in transit from SEAC. So I'm going to go on the U.S. Embassy website. I'm going to go into the U.S. Embassy in Colombia, Bogota, their website, and see if I can get a visa interview scheduled and pay visa fees and help Karina with the S-160s. I'm going to see if I can do it. But so far, I've been told that I have written an email to the embassy immigration officer in Bogota, and they told me there's nothing they can do until they receive the visa from the MVC, and it's in transit. So it's on a plane. It's on a plane, or it's on a steamship, or it's on a rowboat, or maybe they put it on a hang glider. I don't know, but I gotta wait until the embassy get it before I can do anything, according to the embassy and according to the MVC. Let me see. Rules for a circle. Is one proof enough to accompany Form I-134? Just a bank statement? No, you need 12 months worth of bank statements. You got to prove income. You got to have your tax return, your W-2, your 1099, 12 months worth of bank statements, or go to the bank and ask the bank to write a letter to say this is how much money was deposited into your bank account over the last year. They want to see income for 12 months. You got to prove income for 12 months at the embassy interview. I got like 15 months worth of bank statements back there. I'm going to pull out the last 3. I'm going to give Karina 12 months worth. That's all they need, 12 months. Plus, I got a letter from my boss. I got pay stubs. I got, all that stuff. Did Yvonne, do you need a lot of funds in the bank if your paychecks are enough? If your income for the year is enough, not your paychecks, you have to make so much money per year to qualify for the visa. If it's not enough, you can use your bank, you can use your assets, your cash in your bank. Okay, but it's better just to get a joint sponsor. If you don't make enough money, just get a joint sponsor. Even if you got $1 million in the bank, get a joint sponsor, okay? You got to take the pressure off the immigration officer so that the immigration officer is going to give you the visa. Not give it to you, but approve it. You worked for this visa. They didn't give it to you. You worked for it. Jose is talking to Diddy Vaughn and Zoila Molina. Hello, Diego. What's going on, Zoila? And let me see. Wam Penan Zen. I have my case ready. September 28, 2023. Now waiting for the embassy in the Dominican Republic. No problem. Be patient. And Jennifer McQuarrie, thanks, Diego. No problem. And Rose Lee, hold on a second, I can't see what your question is because it's blocked by this computer. I gotta wait for the stream to move up. But Ross Lee says, what monies is the California? And then I can't see anymore. It's kind of blocked. So I'm trying to page down. I don't know, maybe it's my computer that's slow right now. But I gotta wait for that to come up. So come on, guys. You gotta, hang in there. You gotta be patient during this process. Okay, you're gonna get your visa. You're qualified for the benefit. You qualified for the benefit. You're gonna get it. When I go to Bogota, when I get off the live stream tonight, I'll go and see if I can schedule the visa interview through the embassy in Bogota. I don't know if I can do it. I'll give it a shot. But the embassy has already told me in an email that they can't do anything to help me until they receive the visa from the MVC. And they're telling me they don't have it. So it's in an airplane. It's on a steamboat. It's on a ship. It's in a rowboat. It's tied to the back of a hang glider. Who knows where it is? But when they get it, guess what? I'm scheduling visa interviews. I'm paying visas. I'm going to pay the fee. $265. Boom. And if I can't if they don't take it out of my bank account online, I got a feeling in Colombia, Karina has to go to a bank and pay for it. So if that's the case, I'll just go to the bank and withdraw the money and then schedule the interview and then jump on a plane and go pay it with Karina. We'll jump on the Transmillennial, go downtown and pay the visa fee, get the receipt, and then do the DS-160. I had a person send me a message today asking me, do I fill out the DS-160 for a K-1 visa or the DS-260? Well, it's the DS-160, okay? The MVC sends out this email, oh, you got to fill out the DS-260. That's not true. It's not correct. K-1 visas are, even though they're classified as a non-immigrant visa, you treat it as an immigrant visa, and then you fill out the paperwork DS-160. Okay, guys? So I don't know why I can't page down on my computer. I'm trying to see what that question is from Ross Lee, and my computer is not letting me page down. So somebody write something, and maybe that'll fix it. Write something on the screen, and see if it'll move the live stream up. So yeah, the DS-160, I will help Karina fill that out because it's in English. She doesn't speak English, so I'm going to fill it out. I'll sit with her. I'll sit at the dining room table in Bogota, Colombia, look out the window at Montserrat and Guadalupe, and then we'll do the DS-160, and then we'll go downstairs and go eat at one of our restaurants on the street. We live close to some really cool restaurants. And the food is good in Colombia. The food is good. Now, I've been talking for an hour, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Monday. I can't think of anything else to talk about unless you got any more questions. I can't see what Ross Lee's asking because my computer, I don't know if it's jammed up or whatever. It's not letting me process the feed. So let me try. If I can't read it. So I'm going to log out of here and go drink some Mountain Dew. Thanks for the super chats. And I will be back with you guys on Wednesday, 7 p.m. I'll be back Wednesday. And tomorrow, maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow. If you want me to do a live stream tomorrow, I can do one tomorrow afternoon if you want. So our friends in England and Australia and all these other countries on the other side of the planet can get to join in too. So thanks for the super chats, and I will see you guys. Maybe tomorrow I'll just jump on and do a live stream tomorrow afternoon. Thanks, everybody.